Hello friends, and welcome to Red vs. Blue News. So Biden is now calling on Congress to tighten gun laws in wake of the recent Colorado shooting that killed 10 people at a grocery store, including Officer Eric Talley, and their age ranges from 20 to 65 years old. Officials confirmed that a suspect, 21-year-old Ahmed Alissa, has been charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. The motive is still unclear. And the CNN article is saying that Biden pushes House-passed gun reforms in wake of the Colorado mass shooting. President Biden on Tuesday used the latest mass shooting to offer his most vocal push for gun control since taking office, saying the deaths of 10 people at a grocery store in Colorado should jolt Washington and the nation into action. It was a message past presidents have also wielded to disappointing results, but Biden, who has a lengthy and mixed record on the issue, signaled he was ready to press for legislation even as he balances other priorities in Congress. In somber remarks from the White House State Dining Room, he said he would do everything in his power to keep Americans safe and pushed a pair of House-passed gun reforms, including a universal background check measure and an assault weapons ban.
While we're still waiting for more information regarding the shooter, his motive, the weapons he used, the guns, the magazines, the weapons, the modifications that apparently have taken place to those weapons that are involved here, I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future and to urge my colleagues in the House and Senate to act. We can ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines in this country once again. I got that done when I was a senator. It passed. It was law for the longest time. And it brought down these mass killings. We should do it again. We can close the loopholes in our background check system, including the Charleston loophole. That's one of the best tools we have right now to prevent gun violence. The Senate should immediately pass, let me say it again, the United States Senate, I hope some are listening, should immediately pass the 2 House-passed bills that close loopholes in the background check system. These are bills that receive votes of both Republicans and Democrats in the House. This is not and should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. It will save lives, American lives, and we have to act. We should also ban assault weapons in the process.
The CNN article continues. After acknowledging there were still outstanding details to be learned about Monday's massacre, including the shooter's motive and weapons, Biden insisted enough was known to make an ardent call for new gun control. And earlier today, CNN's Jake Tapper had on the mayor of Boulder, Colorado, Sam Weaver, and he said the result of yesterday's shooting show us that they are not strong enough. While there are background checks in his state for gun ownership, he does not feel the measures are strong enough. And here is a clip of that interview.
The suspect was suffering from mental illness. Is there any sort of law in Colorado that could have kept him from being able to legally purchase a firearm if his family members had let law enforcement or let a judge know that they considered him to have these issues? And obviously we want to also underline that people with mental illness, most of them do not commit acts of violence. They should not be stigmatized. But I'm just wondering if they thought he was a paranoid, which they describe him in some press accounts as being, if there was some way that they could have kept a gun out of his hands legally.
Well, we do have background checks in Colorado, so I believe there are pathways that people can be refused the right to buy a weapon. I think mental health is one of those. And we do now have, I think, went into effect a little more than a year ago, an extreme risk protection order, which I believe speaks to that as well. So there are some measures in place, but I don't feel like they're strong enough. The results of yesterday's shooting show us that they're not strong enough. So yes, there are measures in place. I don't think they're sufficient, and they certainly weren't sufficient to prevent yesterday's tragedy.
So of course this shooting has sparked the enthusiasm to have a gun control debate, and this debate is always heated. I get why. Those on the left think we need more gun control, if not gun confiscation, because they think that will help stem gun violence. They think that AR rifles especially need to be banned, that only military need that type of weapon. Only, they don't really understand what AR really means. Those on the right think that the government should stay the hell away from the Second Amendment. That by the right of being a free man, we should be able to protect ourselves against foreign and domestic threats. That the Second Amendment isn't just about having a rifle to hunt or protect against criminals, but we as free people may someday need to protect ourselves from the government. If the government becomes tyrannical or evil like so many government powers have throughout history, then as free American people we have the right to band together and fight back. That it would become our duty. In some sense, we need even less gun control, because we as citizens need to be able to compete against a government if it becomes evil and turns on the people. But it's clear that the Colorado shooter had lost his mind, turned to evil and committed horrendous acts. That the vast majority of gun owners are not evil, nor are they using AR-style rifles to commit the majority of gun violence. In fact, there's far more blunted object and handgun violence than violence from an AR. But government and politicians know that, they just play stupid, because bottom line is they want AR-style rifles, guns in general, out of the hands of the American people.